This week I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about boundaries. I think boundaries are super important to this journey of aligning with love and coming from a place of peace and power. I've been getting this question from a handful of people lately, so I just thought I'd take a moment to talk about it today. And most recently, I got this question from a female who, and the way she approached me is she said, is after I'd given my spiel on the book and talking about love, and she's like, "Well, don't you think that there's ever a time that, as females, we give so much of ourselves?" And she's like, "Don't you think that there's ever a time that we need to say no, and we need to take care of ourselves?" And in that moment, it quickly snapped that she needs to learn a little bit more about how to set boundaries and where that how her energy is being depleted in those moments of being. In her mind, she was being loving, but in my mind, what I want to bring up here is that whatever she was saying yes to and conceding out of resentment, that's not being loving. And so usually what happens is we get a request or a demand, or we get a request and our ego responds to it as a demand. So whatever the history of the particular relationship is with the person asking it of us, or even the history of being asked that type of demand, that type of request, we throw all of that history of emotions onto the particular request that's coming to us, and we respond out of it. So if we're starting to feel in our head that we've just been saying yes too much and we're being taken advantage of, and nothing's coming back to us, we're just saying yes all the time, but no one's really coming around and helping us in that same way, and start to build this whole case in our head for why, how we're getting taken advantage of in that moment. And we do one of two things. We say yes, and then we feel resentment towards ourselves for not being able to stand up for ourselves, or we feel resentment towards that person who asked that request of us. Or the other thing is we'll say no, and it will come from this like heavy energetic place of like, maybe it's a snap and then we feel guilty for the snap, or it's a no and we feel guilty because we didn't give of ourselves in that moment. Neither of those scenarios are actually coming out of love. Neither of them are. That if they were, you wouldn't feel resentment and you wouldn't feel guilt. And what you have to learn to do is to get your thoughts and your actions in alignment. When that happens, you have peace. And so if you want to say no, that's fine. But you just have to be able to say it from a peaceful, gentle place, and a firm but gentle and peaceful place. And so the key is to hear every request as a neutral request. We have to strip away all of the emotional baggage that we've been carrying forward from all those past yeses that we've resented and all those past no's that we felt guilty for. And we have to cut all of that emotional baggage away and see each individual request as neutral. And then we have to just check in with ourselves. Is that something we want to agree to, or is it not? And whenever you're able to check in with yourself, you're coming from that deeper place of love or intuitive guidance that's going to tell you if that's something that you should be doing or you shouldn't be doing. Whatever comes up for you, peacefully respond. Just say, no, I prefer not to. No, I prefer to do it this way. No, I'm not going to be able to make it to dinner tonight. I'm staying in. No, or whatever it might be. There's a gentle way to do it. There's a peaceful way to do it. So I always want to show people how to come from that place of love. And the way that we come from that place of love is to be able to cut away all of the baggage that we've been carrying forth. And again, to truly give of ourselves of love is to give without expectations. So in those moments, in that pile of emotional baggage where we've said yes and we just feel so taken advantage of, and that is actually coming from a huge victim mentality, and that is not coming from a place of peace and power, and that's not coming from a place of extending yourself out of love. It's coming from a place of taking that action to receive love in return, to be liked from that other person, to not have that other person mad at you. And so you have to shift where you're coming from. You have to heal those parts in yourself. Those are perfect opportunities to look within and to be able to heal and say, hey, just like last week's blog, hey, I'm whole and complete already. What am I doing in these scenarios that's acting out of a sense of incompleteness? And as we start to heal those parts of ourselves, we just get so much clearer on what we should say yes to, what we should say no to, and it comes from a place of peace. And so again, coming from a place of love is not about being passive. It's not about letting go of self-care. It's not about, it's not about not using boundaries. Boundaries are still an important part of this journey. And so that's why today I wanted to take a little bit of time to share this quick blog video on this topic. If you liked it, please use the social media sharing buttons below and share them with friends. And then also, if you have any questions that you would like for me to share here on the blog, please submit them to Shanna@shannacovey.com. Thanks.